Today was a big day for the U.S. team. We had some tough heats, and a couple of us pulled through. We lost a couple guys, but some of the teams that were close to us lost some major players. You know, we're hanging in there. We got another big day tomorrow, but we're standing our ground.
As you're coming down to the end of this contest, you know, every day is really important today, and today was particularly important. We had, you know, Ben and Corey in the main round. We had Austin in the losers round. We had Steve in the losers round. We have Tony in the main round, and in the main round we had Sage and Courtney. And so, you know, I knew that we wanted to advance those people through to the finals on the final day. And, you know, if we did that and some of the other teams had some mishaps, you know, it'd be looking good for us.
Yeah, we started the day off with Austin's rep charge heat. He had a pretty tough heat. It was really close. I thought he should have made it. I thought he got a little underscored, but you got to really smash him, you know, to beat some of the bigger guys. And he surfed really well and just came short in the end.
Austin struggled, and, you know, I think he was unlucky not to get through.
Yeah, Corey was up next, and he had a good heat, really solid heat. He had a little bit of a slow start, but he got like 3 really good lefts throughout the heat and pretty much smashed it.
Yeah, you know, I was fortunate that heat to come out with a victory, and you know, one really good wave came in. You know, it was a good sized wave, you know, overhead peak, and just had a big lip to start it, a nice cutting, and, you know, finishing move. So it was a good wave, and you know, it's all about catching waves. You catch good waves, you should win your heat unless you make a mistake. So.
You know, Corey went out and belted it, just, you know, a bunch of big lefts and did big moves and got great scores.
Well, now I'm in like the open final, I guess it'd be called, and you know, that's the final to go to the final. So I got to get first or second in this next heat, and then I'll be into the real final and wait for everyone else to catch up. And I don't know, hopefully that's how it works out. We'll see. It's all on tomorrow, though.
Ben struggled, waited for 15 minutes before he got a wave, and then he gets an 8.8 with an incredible ride, and just needed a 0.5 to actually get through the heat, and he gets 4 and wins the heat.
Had a really slow start. I just couldn't get much. It was like the ocean went flat, and the 1 or 2 waves that did came in, you know, someone else got them, and I think there was about almost down to like 8 minutes left before I even caught a wave, maybe 7 minutes before I caught my first wave. And I ended up getting an 8 something on it, which was, you know, put me right in the hunt. I only needed like a 0.5, yeah, 0.5 to get through, and I ended up just scrambling with like, you know, a minute, 2 minutes left, and got a little wave, got a 3, and that put the other guys under pressure, and they ended up needing like 7s. So the last minute I went back and sat on them and pushed them too deep and ended up making it. It was definitely a stressful heat, but you know, it happens.
Scary day.
Yeah, we switched over to the longboard after us, and Tony and Steve started out with a heat.
Yeah, there's a few of us have been under the weather with some cold, and you know, Steve Newton was struggling out there. He's just had no energy and didn't look good, and just said, you know, you're going to charge and just ration an amount of energy for that time. Come in and get some water, but you got to charge. Okay, it's just mind over matter, mate. You just got to paddle around and get waves. If you're feeling all like that, the solution to that is just get down so that you've got more control.
Okay.
Right, you're easily a good enough surfer. All right, just be solid on your board, get your waves, move backwards and forwards, and you wipe out, get back on and go grab another wave.
I had a heat with Steve in my first heat, and we were all just trying to scramble and catch the best wave out there, and it seemed to be like more of the medium-sized waves were the best.
Tony Silvani is like an animal in the water. He's out catching everything and ripping, so he did great. So he's through to the main final tomorrow.
We both took some beatings, but I ended up getting some pretty decent waves, and I took first in the heat.
We lost Steve, he had a tough time, but in the longboarders, Bonga Perkins is out, and that to me is a huge surprise because he's a big talent. So I think that kind of opens the door for Tony Silvani to actually make the grand final and do well.
Yeah, and then we went over to the women's, and we had Sage was up first. She had a really solid heat, got second place, but like a good solid second place, and pushed on through into the women's final, the first final.
Well, today I had one heat left before I'd be in the winner's bracket final, and I just knew that I needed to get the right waves, and I kind of was just having a heat with myself and just competing against myself, and me and Ian talked about that, and it worked out in the end, and I got like a 6-something and another score that got me through, so really, really happy about that.
Courtney had a really rough start in her heat and ended up going into the reprecharge rounds.
Courtney had a bit of a shocker and went into the losers round, and she had not been surfing up to her potential.
My day started out with the women's qualifier round. I was heat 2, and I had a bit of a rough start, and it just never caught up to me, and my performance was kind of actually really bad. Losing that heat and gained third, got thrown into the reprecharge rounds and surfed around.
6 to 8 waves, just good surfing, make your waves, big moves, have fun, smile, send a scary message. Finally, she got a mojo going, and in the last event today, she just went nuts and scored a 9 and an 8, and that was, I think, the real Courtney has come back to visit.
Those 2 heats, I said I was going combo everyone at least in one of them after I lost that heat, and my first heat was definitely a really fun one. I caught a few good waves and then went into the second heat and just was going for it. I knew I had nothing to lose at that point and had to go kind of big because the first 10 minutes I was just sitting, so I had to go big.
She powered through 2 reprecharge heats today, surfed really well. In her last heat, she had a stacked heat and just crushed it, got the highest heat total of the day.
Tomorrow's the last day. I'm really stoked to still be in the event, and hopefully I'll make it to the final.
Today was a big day for us. We lost Austin and Steve, but the rest of us pushed on through. And the other teams lost a couple really key players too, so it was a big day for us. We're in the lead going into the last day. Tomorrow's the finals, and that's the big day to hopefully bring home the gold, so we'll see how it goes.
Although we lost 2 guys, Steve Newton and Austin Ware, both Corey and Ben are charging, Sage and Courtney are charging, Tony Silvani are charging, so I'm looking forward to an exciting day, final day here at the ISA World Games, and quiet, we may win.